Today is Christmas Eve, a day filled with movement, preparation, and expectations we don't always recognize. Before all of that takes over, I want to offer a simple idea you can carry into tomorrow, something small but surprisingly powerful: the gift of attention.
Hello and welcome to the Psychology of Us with Professor R.J. Starr, where we explore the mind's influence on life, relationships, and society. R.J. Starr is an existential psychologist, professor, and author dedicated to exploring the core challenges of human existence, how we find meaning, embrace responsibility, and navigate life's challenges. Known for a thought-provoking yet accessible approach, RJ inspires listeners to cultivate self-awareness, emotional intelligence, authenticity, and purpose. This podcast is designed for all psychology enthusiasts, practitioners, students, and anyone curious about why we think, feel, and behave the way we do. Each episode unpacks theories, explores complex questions, and offers insights that deepen understanding of the human experience. So settle in, stay curious, and discover the psychology of us.
Christmas Eve has a particular rhythm, not quite holiday and not quite ordinary. It's a threshold day, a day where everyone is thinking about tomorrow while trying to keep pace with today. In the middle of all of that movement, it's surprisingly easy to overlook the thing that matters most in human connection: attention. Not the performative kind, not the curated kind. The kind that says, I'm here with you, and I'm paying real psychological attention to the moment we're in. Attention is one of the most underestimated experiences in human life. We rarely talk about it directly, but every meaningful interaction depends on it. When someone feels truly seen, it's not because we spoke perfectly or because we made grand gestures. It's almost always because for a brief moment, our attention sharpened around them. We placed them at the center of our perceptual field. We acknowledged their presence without distraction or pretense. As a psychologist, I can tell you that attention is the real currency of human relationships. It's the mechanism behind emotional attunement, empathy, and safety. It's the quiet signal that tells the nervous system, I am not navigating this moment alone. And during the holidays, when emotions tend to have sharper edges and expectations float in the air, whether we intend them to or not, attention becomes even more meaningful. One of the reasons Christmas can feel so complicated is that people often drift into old emotional roles. Families have patterns that go back decades, and those patterns tend to reemerge the moment everyone is in the same room. But attention is one way to interrupt those patterns. Not by changing personalities, not by resolving old history in one evening, but by choosing to be present in a way that steadies the moment. Part of the gift of attention is its simplicity. You don't have to fix anything. You don't have to manage the emotional temperature of the room. You don't have to hold yourself to an idealized standard of holiday warmth. You're just giving people something grounding, something human, something quietly reliable: your presence. Attention also works inward. The holidays place an enormous amount of subtle pressure on people to feel a certain way, to be cheerful, to be grateful, to be social, to be in the spirit. But the mind doesn't operate on command. Feelings aren't holiday themed. The most humane thing you can give yourself on Christmas Eve is a non-judgmental kind of attention. Instead of asking yourself to match an internal script about how the holiday should feel, just notice how you actually feel. You don't have to correct it. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to transform it into anything else. You just pay attention. Because attention is how we create psychological space. It's how we reduce internal friction. It's how we allow emotion to move instead of getting stuck inside old narratives. So as you step into the rest of your day, and eventually into tomorrow, think about the small places where attention might matter. A moment at the table where someone needs just a little more patience. A conversation where you can listen without racing ahead in your mind. A family member who relaxes slightly when they sense you're not distracted. A feeling inside yourself that softens once you acknowledge it, without forcing it to go somewhere else. None of this requires a dramatic shift. It's not a holiday transformation. It's a quiet psychological adjustment that changes the tone of the room, the rhythm of the day, and the way people experience you. And often, it changes the way you experience yourself. On a day filled with motion, attention is stillness. On a day filled with expectation, attention is steadiness. On a day where people can feel pulled in 100 emotional directions, attention is a way of saying, I don't have to be everywhere. I can simply be here. That is the gift most people actually remember. Not the presence, not the perfection of the gathering, not the size of the moment, but the way someone made them feel for a few seconds when they were sincerely present. So however you spend this Christmas Eve, whether you are surrounded by people or moving through a quiet day of your own, consider offering this one gift. Attention to the moment. Attention to yourself. Attention to the human beings in front of you. And let that be enough. However you spend the holiday, I hope tomorrow gives you at least one moment of clarity, one moment of steadiness, one moment that feels genuinely yours. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the next episode.
That wraps up this episode of The Psychology of Us with Professor R.J. Starr. Each conversation is a step toward greater understanding of ourselves, each other, and the forces that shape human behavior. Listeners are invited to continue the conversation by sharing their thoughts, questions, and topic suggestions at profrjstarr@outlook.com. Every message helps shape future episodes, ensuring the discussions remain relevant, thought-provoking, and meaningful. For those who find value in these explorations, subscribing and leaving a review is a great way to support the podcast and bring these insights to a wider audience. Until next time, stay curious, stay thoughtful, and keep exploring the psychology of us.
The Psychology of Being Human, an authoritative guide to mind, emotion, and meaning by R.J. Starr, is now available worldwide in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. It is the kind of book people keep on a nightstand as often as they keep it on a bookshelf, because it doesn't just teach, it reframes how we understand ourselves and one another. This work is a comprehensive exploration of why we think, feel, behave, and believe the way we do. It brings together decades of research, lived experience, and psychological insight to illuminate the inner patterns that drive human life. Readers move through the architecture of mind, the mechanics of emotion, the roots of identity, the shaping power of culture, and the realities of trauma, resilience, and meaning-making. Every chapter offers clarity without oversimplifying, depth without jargon, and insight without condescension. At a time when psychological language is everywhere, yet true understanding is rare, this book restores nuance. It explains how emotions function, how the self is formed, why people repeat certain patterns, and how our beliefs become the stories we live inside. It shows the role of attachment, memory, attention, and culture in shaping everyday experience. Most importantly, it treats psychological growth as a process of integration, not perfection. The Psychology of Being Human helps readers recognize the internal logic behind their struggles, the adaptive intelligence inside their defenses, and the broader systems that shape their inner life. It is written with academic integrity and public accessibility, making it a powerful resource for educators, students, clinicians, leaders, and anyone who wants to understand themselves more deeply. If you're looking for a book that respects your intelligence, honors the complexity of being human, and offers a grounded path toward psychological maturity, this is the work to pick up. The Psychology of Being Human, an authoritative guide to mind, emotion, and meaning by R.J. Starr is available now, wherever books are sold.